So looking at this Boolean algebra equation here, we're also going to simplify this, break it down, so you can see what I'm doing and the steps that I'm carrying out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this side. I'm going to focus on this little bit here. Just remember what I said before. If I have a not A, but then I not that again, it becomes A. Again, here I had and, but I've negated that with that, so therefore it becomes or. Not A becomes A because of the sign, and you negate it, it becomes or, negate it again, becomes and. So we don't have to do anything there. Not B, if we not a not, it becomes a positive, so therefore it is B. So what I've got here, before I even think about doing the next part of it, I've simplified that out and I've got something I can work on. So I've changed this bit, alright? So I've applied the rules, I've looked at De Morgan's. If you have a look on here about flipping the bit, changing the sign, that's what I've been doing over here, flipping the bit, changing the sign. Now, I'm going to work on this side now that I've expanded this out, and well, not expanded it, but sorted it out. So what I've got is A dot A, so A and A, or A and C. So I've expanded that out. So now I've taken that, and that should be so much clearer for us to start working on. Remember the order of precedence. We're going to work on anything that we're multiplying first. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the absorption rule here. So this now becomes, so again, it's my absorption rule, or, so sorry, and or, and that and the dominant sign is the one that is coming forward, so that's what's happening here. So I'm going to end up with A dot A plus A dot C dot not A plus, that now becomes A. Perfect. Alright. Now, again, remember this rule. Alright, when we have an A and, sorry, A or, make sure I put that in, A or A, the result of A or A becomes 1. So what we've got is A. I haven't done this other side yet, I know I can do that. Now, when you multiply, when you use an and with a C, that becomes a C. So what I've ended up with now is A plus A dot C. Well, let's look at the multiplying here. A times A becomes A, so we've got A plus A dot C. Alright, but what you've got to remember now is you've got the absorption rule that can be applied here. So we absorb that C into this and we end up with A overall. Okay, so that's why that. So let's just walk through this again. So I flipped the bits where needed, changed the signs where needed. Then I started on this side. I did the absorption rule. Sorry, my spelling. Absorption rule. So we've absorbed that, which came down to an A. But then we've got an A, not A, or A. That became 1, which was the inverse law. Then when you got C and 1, that is the identity law, which became C. What I did over here again is I've got, this one is the idempotent law, when you've got two of the same symbols and you use an AND, it becomes just the one. Alright, so then I've joined those together. I've used the absorption rule here again, and we're done. So that is some examples of my process of how I've simplified those. If you can see these as multipliers, again, it might help you visualize your order of precedence. Remember, if there is a not above a sign, you change it, which is what happened here. All right, remember the absorption rule applies, and that should give you a little bit of help with Boolean algebra.